morning. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited to discuss Alex's comprehensive test of achievement that we took in March of 2018. So on Monday we took the reading, Tuesday we took the math, Wednesday was social studies, and Thursday we took science. Do you remember this test?
I do, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So before we start, I just want to explain that what this test is. It's an achievement test, so it's not an IQ test. We only measure how Alex has done up to this point in all of her content areas.
Okay, so does this measure how she's doing in the class?
Not exactly. It's important to remember it's only a snapshot of how she is doing and doesn't fully represent how she does in class.
Okay, can you please explain to me how the score should be read?
Of course. The score sheet is broken into two sections, so the norm reference group and the criterion reference group. However, in each part there are smaller subtests that are content-based tests broken down.
Okay, so I get the subtest, but what is this vocabulary and word analysis section?
So these are skills within the subtests that are tested.
Oh, okay. So down here I see basic battery and complete battery. What is that?
So the basic battery is the skills within the subtest, so math concepts and problem solving. And the complete battery is the totals, such as total reading and total mathematics.
Oh, okay. I noticed you said the top is different to the bottom. Why is that?
So this part is the norm referenced group. These scores are compared to the national norm group. So the bottom part is the criterion reference scores, which I'll explain later. For now, we're going to focus on the norm group scores.
Okay, what's a norm group?
So for this test, a norm group is a set of 1,000 students who were the same age across the nation who took the test before it was released. It gives information on how a student's scores compare with other students the same age or grade who took the test. For instance, let's take a look at the raw scores. This shows how many items Alex answered correctly out of the number of items on the test.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So Alex got 83 out of 100 items correct in the total reading section. What about this column right here that says that, does that mean she failed?
So this column actually represents the percentile that Alex scored in. It means that Alex scored 53% better than the norm group. So if you look at the bell curve, you can see that she's actually 3% better than most students.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought she failed.
Now I want to show you the percentile band. This represents that every test isn't perfect and that there are a lot of factors, such as if the student didn't get enough sleep or feels bad that day, which is referred to as the standard measurement of error. So this is her 53rd percentile band. If you look right here, the circle with a line going through it represents the 53rd percentile. So the line means that if she were to take the test again, the testing company is confident that she would score between the 53rd and 56th percentile each time.
Oh, what about the section right here?
So scale score is the raw score plugged into a formula to figure out the standard score. It is almost like a measurement such as inches, feet, or yards, and this allows us to average the percentile in an easier way.
Oh wow, it could be really confusing if you're just looking at it and you don't have like background information.
Yeah, it can be, but if we have the bell curve, the scale scores are listed as CTA scores and range from 200 to 800. So if you look at the total reading score, it would be an average of 508. So it would be right about here, which is slightly the norm group's performance.
Oh, okay. So I know earlier you mentioned something that the bottom is different than the top. Is it broken up like the norm reference group?
So this one is the bottom half is the criterion referenced group. And this shows how the student as an individual is doing in each content area. Do you want to look over it and ask me any questions you may have?
Yeah, let me look over it. I think I wanted to know, is it broken up like the norm reference section?
So no, this one is actually divided into areas of skill according to the test. So the RS represents the raw score, so that's the number of questions that she got correct out of the number possible, which is represented by the NP.
Oh, okay. And I see there's an X right here under the section for phonetic analysis. What is that?
That means that Alex may have difficulty sounding out and blending sounds for unfamiliar words.
Oh, does it mean that she doesn't know it? Or?
Not necessarily. She actually got over half of them correct. So, however, some things need to practice help, but to help her improve could be reading unfamiliar text to help her with sounding out unfamiliar words, or also having practice with new vocabulary words. I just wanted to point out one of Alex's high scores As you can see here, she did very well in capitalization. She got 11 out of 12 correct, so that's why she scored in the high section for this skill.
Oh, that's great. We really try to enforce, what goes at the beginning of a sentence, what goes at the end, just so she can practice.
Yeah, great. That's perfect. So now there is one score that I don't really agree with because of her work in class. Right here it says she scored low for skill measurement. However, it weighs heavily if she misses a few because there weren't really that many questions asked. So if you look right here at her portfolio, Alex actually did very well on our measurement comparison in class, and that's why I just want to remind you that this is only a snapshot of how Alex is doing.
Okay, that makes me feel way better knowing more about the scores when I look at them. I thank you so much for explaining everything to me. It could be super confusing.
Yeah, of course. And here's a handout with information that we discussed in case you want to look over it today. Do you have any more questions?
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay, please call or email me if you need anything at all. It's on the handout I gave you on our weekly newsletters and on the school website.
Sounds good. Thank you.